The Rusty Anchor was the kind of dive bar you'd find in every small town across America. Dimly lit, sticky floors, and the lingering stench of stale beer and cigarettes embedded in the walls. Tucked off Highway 101 in a forgotten corner of Northern California, it was a place where strangers stuck out like sore thumbs and were welcomed with suspicion. On this stormy Friday evening, Cristiano Ronaldo sat alone in a corner booth, sipping a mineral water, trying to blend into the shadows. He wore a plain black tracksuit and a cap pulled low, nothing to hint at his status as one of the world's greatest footballers. His sleek Ducati was parked outside among the Harleys and choppers of the bar's regulars. Ronaldo had stopped at the Rusty Anchor by chance. For 3 days, he'd been riding north along back roads, seeking solitude after a grueling season and relentless media scrutiny. The open road and obscure dive bars offered a rare escape from fame's spotlight. The bartender, a grizzled man in his 60s named Frank, served him without a flicker of recognition, asking only what he wanted to drink. The handful of locals ignored him, which was exactly how Ronaldo liked it. He pulled out a worn copy of The Art of War by Sun Tzu, reading by the faint glow of the booth's lamp. The ancient strategist's words on discipline and preparation resonated with him, a reminder of the focus that had shaped his career. The quiet was shattered when the door slammed open, and 5 members of the Iron Wolves Motorcycle Club stormed in, their presence radiating menace. Their leather vests bore the club's patch, a snarling wolf's head wreathed in flames, and their tattooed arms told tales of violence and loyalty. Jake Bulldog Morrison, the club's president, was a towering 6'4" brute with a wild beard and arms like steel beams. His lieutenant, Tommy Snake Rodriguez, was leaner, but carried the wired energy of a coiled viper. The other 3, Rick, Danny, and Pete, followed like a pack of wolves, their eyes scanning for weakness. "Set us up with a round, Frank," Bulldog's voice boomed. "We're celebrating." The bartender complied quickly, familiar with their reputation. The other patrons shrank into their seats, avoiding eye contact as the bikers claimed the bar. Snake's gaze landed on Ronaldo, alone in his booth, reading. Something about the stranger's calm focus irritated him. Maybe the confidence in his posture, or the way he seemed unfazed by their entrance. "Hey, Bulldog," Snake said, elbowing his leader. "Check out the scholar in the corner." Bulldog turned, eyeing Ronaldo, who kept reading, oblivious to their stares. The lack of reaction felt like a challenge. "Looks like we got a fancy boy," Bulldog sneered. "Probably lost, looking for a yoga retreat." The comment drew laughs from the gang, but Ronaldo didn't flinch, turning a page and sipping his water. Frank sensed a trouble brewing. "He's just passing through, Jake," he said nervously. "Hasn't caused any trouble." "Yet," Snake added, his tone dripping with menace. The Iron Wolves had claimed the Rusty Anchor as their turf years ago, and outsiders, especially polished ones, were seen as intruders. They didn't know that the man in the booth had spent decades honing his body and mind to peak perfection, training in martial arts for endorsements, and mastering discipline under pressure. Beneath Ronaldo's calm exterior was the physicality of an elite athlete, capable of explosive precision. Ronaldo glanced up briefly, meeting Bulldog's eyes for a moment, acknowledging but not challenging, before returning to his book. The gesture was respectful yet dismissive, and it infuriated the bikers. They'd been drinking, celebrating a lucrative drug run, and were itching for trouble. The quiet stranger became their target. Snake swaggered over, boots clicking deliberately. "What you reading, Professor?" he mocked, leaning against the booth, his breath reeking of whiskey and smoke. Ronaldo looked up calmly. "Sun Tzu, The Art of War, Strategy and Discipline." Snake laughed loudly. "Strategy? Discipline? Hear that, boys? We got a philosopher." The Iron Wolves chuckled, but Ronaldo closed his book, using a napkin as a bookmark, unruffled. "Everyone finds focus differently," Ronaldo said evenly. "Sun Tzu was a warrior. He believed strategy guides action, not replaces it." The calm, educated response threw Snake off, making him feel small. "You trying to make me look stupid?" he growled, slamming his beer bottle on the table. "Not at all," Ronaldo replied. "Just sharing what I'm reading." But Snake was too drunk for reason. "You're in our bar, acting all high and mighty with your fancy book, thinking you're better than us." Frank cleared his throat. "Snake, maybe." "Shut up," Bulldog barked, silencing the bartender. The room's tension spiked, the air thick with the promise of violence. The other patrons quietly slipped out, sensing a storm. Ronaldo sat still, but his posture shifted subtly, weight forward, hands resting lightly on the table, eyes sharp. To the bikers, he looked like an easy mark. They didn't see the coiled energy of a man who'd trained his body to move with surgical precision. "You're in the wrong place, Professor," Snake sneered. "This ain't some library. Time to move along." Ronaldo glanced around, taking in the bikers, Frank's nervous grip on a hidden baseball bat, and the empty bottles littering the bar. He could leave, but the predatory glint in their eyes suggested they wouldn't let him. "I paid for my drink," he said simply. "I'll finish it and go." Snake's face darkened. The stranger's calm defiance was a direct challenge to his authority. "You'll go when I tell you," he snarled, leaning closer. The confrontation teetered on the edge. Frank gripped his bat tighter, and the Iron Wolves tensed, ready for action. Ronaldo made a split-second calculation: humiliation or bloodshed. Snake made the first move, knocking Ronaldo's glass off the table. It shattered, water splashing across the floor. "Oops," he said with mock innocence. "Guess you're done drinking." The other bikers rose, surrounding the booth like a pack closing in. Ronaldo looked at the broken glass, then at Snake. The air grew colder. "That was unnecessary," he said quietly. "Unnecessary?" Bulldog laughed, looming over the booth. "You know what's unnecessary? Some city boy acting like he owns our bar." "I've been minding my own business," Ronaldo replied, his voice steady but carrying a steel edge that made Frank shiver. "Your business is our business in our territory," Danny snapped, blocking the exit. Pete, the youngest, grinned eagerly, craving violence. "Maybe we should teach him some manners," Pete suggested. Snake grinned, showing yellowed teeth. "Stand up, Professor. Time for your lesson." Ronaldo didn't move, but his body language shifted. Coiled, ready. "I don't want trouble," he said. "Too late," Snake snarled, grabbing Ronaldo's shoulder to yank him from the booth. "It was a catastrophic mistake." Ronaldo exploded into motion, his athletic reflexes honed by years of training. His left hand seized Snake's wrist in a vice-like grip, while his right elbow drove into Snake's solar plexus with a devastating force. Snake doubled over, gasping as Ronaldo rose, twisted the biker's arm, and slammed him face first into the table. The sequence took less than 3 seconds. The bar fell silent. The Iron Wolves stared, stunned, as Snake lay pinned, blood streaming from his nose. Ronaldo's eyes met theirs, cold and calculating, like a predator sizing up prey. "I tried to do this the easy way," Ronaldo said, his voice commanding the room. "But apparently, we're doing it the hard way." The silence was electric. The Iron Wolves frozen as they realized they'd underestimated their target. Snake groaned, pinned to the table, his arm twisted painfully. Ronaldo held him effortlessly, his athletic frame radiating controlled power. It wasn't his strength that unnerved them. It was the utter lack of emotion. He wasn't angry or excited, just methodical. "Let him go," Bulldog demanded, but his voice wavered. "When you step back and give me room to leave," Ronaldo replied calmly, This ends when you want it to. Snake whimpered as Ronaldo adjusted his grip, sending a jolt of pain through his arm. The other bikers hesitated, looking to Bulldog, who was grappling with doubt. Ronaldo's swift takedown of Snake had exposed their vulnerability. "You don't know who you're messing with," Danny said, trying to sound tough. "We're the Iron Wolves. This is our turf." Ronaldo's gaze locked onto Danny, sharp and unyielding. "You don't know who you're messing with either, but you're about to find out." Danny flinched, stepping back instinctively. Frank clutched his bat, recognizing Ronaldo's movements weren't those of a brawler, but of someone trained for precision and efficiency. Pete, young and reckless, flicked open a switchblade. "Maybe some steel will change your attitude," he growled, advancing. The knife escalated everything. Ronaldo's expression darkened, the careful control giving way to something lethal. "Put it away," he said. "Last warning." Pete laughed nervously. "What, you gonna kick me like one of your footballs?" The reference to football was ironic. Ronaldo had trained in combat sports for fitness campaigns, working with martial arts experts to perfect his agility and strength. Pete lunged, testing him. Ronaldo moved like lightning. His left hand deflected the knife, his right seized Pete's wrist, and in one fluid motion, he spun the biker and slammed him into the wall. The impact rattled the bar, the knife clattering to the floor as Pete slumped, dazed, blood trickling from his scalp. 2 down. Snake struggled, but Ronaldo pressed his neck, keeping him down. "I count 4 knives, 2 guns, and brass knuckles among you," Ronaldo said, his tone conversational, but chilling. "I've been watching since you walked in, athlete's habit." The mention of his observational skills unnerved them further. They weren't dealing with a random civilian. "Here's what's going to happen," Ronaldo continued. "You choose, walk away, take your friends, and this ends. Or keep going and find out how much worse this gets." Bulldog's fists clenched, but he hesitated. Rick and Danny looked ready to bolt. The moment hung heavy. "You think you're tough?" Bulldog roared, trying to rally. "Taking down Snake and the kid doesn't make you a badass." Ronaldo tilted his head as if listening to his own steady pulse. "I think," he said, "you're about to make a mistake that'll change your life forever." Rick pulled out his phone, muttering about calling backup. "Put it away," Ronaldo said, his voice stopping Rick cold. "You don't want more people involved." Danny, fueled by liquor and bravado, drew a .38 revolver, aiming it at Ronaldo's chest with shaking hands. "How about now, tough guy?" Frank ducked, dialing 911. The stakes were now life or death. But Ronaldo didn't flinch. He smiled, a cold, predatory expression. "Danny," he said, "you just made the worst decision of your life." "Shut up," Danny screamed, his voice cracking. "I'm in control." "Are you?" Ronaldo asked, almost pitying. "Because you look like a scared kid, playing with a gun." Bulldog sensed his crew unraveling. "Waste him, Danny," he ordered. "We'll dump him in the woods." The casual talk of murder shocked the room. Ronaldo silenced him with pressure on his neck. "Let me explain something," he said, his voice ice cold. "My name is Cristiano Ronaldo." The name hit like a thunderbolt. Even in their insular world, the Iron Wolves knew of Ronaldo, not just the footballer, but the rumors of his discipline, his work with elite trainers, and whispered stories of a man who could dominate any arena. Danny's gun hand shook uncontrollably. "You're lying," Danny stammered. "Ronaldo's a soccer star, not some—" "Am I?" Ronaldo interrupted. "How many men do you know who could do this to your friends? Who'd stand still with a gun in their face?" Rick went pale. "Bulldog, we need to go." But Bulldog's ego couldn't accept defeat. "Don't care if you're Cristiano Ronaldo," he roared, charging with fists aimed at Ronaldo's head. Ronaldo moved like a striker, dodging defenders. He sidestepped, grabbed Bulldog's arm, and used his momentum to send him crashing through the booth in a shower of wood and glass. Bulldog lay still, blood pooling beneath him. 3 down. Ronaldo faced Danny. Your move, but choose carefully. Once you pull that trigger, you can't take it back. Danny's finger trembled, his eyes locked on Ronaldo's. Calm, certain, unafraid. Look around, Ronaldo said softly. Really look. Danny glanced at Snake, pinned and bleeding. Pete slumped and dazed. Bulldog broken amid the wreckage. 3 of your brothers, Ronaldo said, and I haven't even tried. I've been defensive, reacting to you. The realization hit Danny like a freight train. Everything, the speed, the precision, had been restrained. But you, Ronaldo continued, escalated to lethal force. That changes everything. Rick edged toward the door. Where are you going? Ronaldo asked, freezing him. Leaving your friend to face this alone? Some brotherhood? Danny's hands shook, sweat blurring his vision. You want to know who I am? Ronaldo asked, stepping closer despite the gun. I'm the man who dominates any field he steps onto. I'm the one who trains until others collapse, who turns discipline into a weapon. I'm the nightmare for those who prey on the weak. Another step. I've broken defenses tougher than yours. I've faced pressure you can't imagine. And the difference between us? I only destroy those who deserve it. Danny's nerve snapped. He pulled the trigger. Click. An empty chamber. You forgot to chamber around, Ronaldo said, unfazed. Amateur. Before Danny could react, Ronaldo snatched the gun, twisting it from his grip with ease. He emptied the bullets, letting them ping on the floor. Cheap ammo, he noted. Wouldn't have stopped me anyway. Danny staggered back, pleading. We didn't know who you were. You saw an easy target, Ronaldo said. Someone to bully for fun. You didn't think about their dignity, their right to peace. That's your tragedy. Not that you attacked Cristiano Ronaldo, but that you attacked anyone. Rick stammered. We're sorry. We'll leave. Oh, you will, Ronaldo said. Because tonight, the Iron Wolves end. Sirens wailed outside. You've been running a protection racket, Ronaldo said. Extorting businesses, threatening families. I know about your drugs, your trafficking, your murders. Did you think no one would notice? How do you know? Rick whispered. I make it my business, Ronaldo replied. Here's your choice. Option 1, I finish this. The Iron Wolves vanish, permanently. Option 2, you live, but the club dies. You confess everything to the police, provide evidence, make restitution. We can't, Danny sobbed. Other clubs will kill us. You're already marked, Ronaldo said. By me or them? My way's quicker. Pete, barely conscious, asked. Our families? Protected, Ronaldo said. Relocated, new identities, but no contact with criminals. One slip, deal's off. Police lights flashed through the windows. Time's up, Ronaldo said. Choose. Danny broke. I'll confess, he sobbed. Rick nodded. Me too. Snake spat blood. Cowards. I'd rather die. Your choice, Ronaldo said. The police burst in, finding chaos. 3 bikers injured, 2 surrendering, and Ronaldo reading calmly. Officer Martinez surveyed the scene. What happened? Self-defense, Frank said. They attacked him. He defended himself. Ronaldo looked up, closing his book. I was just reading when they started a fight. I did what was necessary. Martinez eyed the carnage skeptically. Necessary? Ronaldo smiled faintly. You should see what happens when I'm not holding back. As rain washed the blood from the parking lot, Ronaldo rode off into the storm, leaving behind a legend that would grow in the underworld. The Iron Wolves had learned the hard way. Some predators hunt other predators.